Tag community, and I wanted to state the facts on who the so-called Ghost Alaska is. I have my theories, and I think they're 99% accurate. Who is Laska? Well, some people define him as a ghost, and some define him as an entity. Well, I'm here to tell you that he is both, a mixture between the spirit world and the real world. That is why it looks like he has the ability to become invisible, which he really isn't becoming invisible. Like I said before, he is a spirit mixed with an entity. He travels through the spirit world to make sure that no one can see him in-game, but he can see you. Now you're probably asking, why and how did this happen? Who is Laska before this? Was he a person? Let me explain. Laska was once a normal Gorilla Tag player that played Gorilla Tag every day after school. He would always go into private lobbies to practice. He hated being alone in private lobbies because it would make him feel like he was being watched. He always invited his friends to play, and one particular day after school on a Friday, he wanted to practice for a tournament he was trying out for. He invited his friends as usual, and the game code they always used. The code, Laska. Once they all got into the code, they would all do 1v1s to test their skills and to make sure that he'd make it into the tournament, so they did just that. They all started testing and going against each other. After they were done with the first 3 rounds, Laska was pretty tired and wanted to get a drink. He told all of his friends to wait into the code until he got back. Laska got his drink and cooled off for about a minute and went back to play Gorilla Tag. When he got back, no one was there. The code was empty. Just him and the fake audio of birds chirping. He thought maybe his Wi-Fi was messing up, so he restarted Gorilla Tag and went back into the code. When he got back into the code, no one was there. He thought it was pretty strange, so he went to go text his friends to join back. But before he went to take off the VR headset, he heard a noise. A very terrifying noise coming from the cave. He checked the leaderboard to see if he was really alone, and he was. No one was there, just him. Then he heard the noise again. He was very frightened, but he wanted to see what it was. He went down to the caves and listened for the noise. It was coming from the mines. Now at this point, Laska was very scared, but he really wanted to know what that noise was and what was down there. So he went to the entrance of the mines and looked down the scary dark hallway and saw something. He couldn't tell what it was, so he explored deeper into the mines. The same noise was heard again. It was coming from the dead-end area of the mines, the place no one goes alone. But Laska was feeling brave today and went to the dead end, and to his surprise, he saw nothing. Then he heard the noise again, but this time it was 10 times louder than before. It was so loud he tried to take off his VR headset, but for some reason he couldn't. It was stuck. He didn't know how it was possible that the VR headset was stuck to his freaking head. He heard the noise again, but this time there was a monkey in the dead end, standing there. He had no face. He was just all black. The entity somehow grabbed Laska in-game and pulled him closer. The entity opened its mouth and spoke words, saying,
"This is not your fault. Everything will be okay."
And then Laska and the entity submerged together. The player Laska was never to be seen again. His parents walked in his room to tell him that dinner was ready, but he wasn't there. He was gone. Only the VR headset was to be found on the floor, burnt and broken. Laska was taken by a spirit, and Laska has become the entity for the spirit so that people can see him. And the spirit, now known as Laska, is to wait for his next victim.